Welcome back, my friends, to the darkest corner. Today's stories take us to the edge of space in horrific ways. Please enjoy our stories.
The ascent was too smooth, unnervingly so. Amelia checked the telemetry again, a knot tightening in her stomach. The usual vibrations, the subtle groans of the pressurized cabin as they climbed, all absent. It was as if the balloon, christened Silent Drifter, was gliding through a vacuum even before they reached the stratosphere. Dr. Jian Li, his face illuminated by the eerie glow of his instruments, offered a tight smile. Textbook ascent, Amelia. State-of-the-art engineering. But Amelia couldn't shake the feeling. The silence that enveloped them as they breached the tropopause was different from what the simulations had predicted. It wasn't just the absence of sound. It was a heavy, suffocating blanket that pressed against her eardrums. Her own heartbeat seemed deafening. The rustle of her suit a violent intrusion. Days turned into a disquieting routine. The sun blazed with a malevolent intensity outside, while inside the gondola, a perpetual twilight reigned. The earth below, a swirling canvas of blues and greens, felt impossibly distant, alien. The silence remained their constant companion, growing more oppressive with each passing hour. Then the whispers began. At first, Amelia dismissed them as auditory hallucinations, the product of isolation and the strange atmospheric pressures. Faint, sibilant sounds that seemed to slither at the edge of her hearing. They had no discernible source, no pattern, just the unsettling feeling of being listened to in the vast emptiness. John, initially skeptical, started to notice them too. His usual jovial demeanor eroded, replaced by a nervous twitch in his eye. They checked their comms, their equipment, finding nothing amiss. The whispers persisted, growing subtly louder, closer. One night, as a meteor shower painted silent streaks across the inky black sky outside, the whispers coalesced. They formed words, indistinct at first, but laced with a chilling familiarity. Her name, his name. Fear, cold and sharp, pierced through Amelia's professional composure. They were not alone. Something was up here with them, something that thrived in the eerie silence. The whispers intensified, becoming a chorus of hushed voices just beyond the walls of the gondola. They spoke of things Amelia couldn't comprehend, of cold voids and endless darkness. The metal of the cabin seemed to vibrate with their unseen presence. Jean started seeing things in the periphery of his vision, fleeting shadows that danced just out of sight. Amelia felt phantom touches, cold fingers brushing against her skin. The monitoring equipment flickered erratically, displaying nonsensical readings. Panic began to set in. They tried to descend, but the release valve malfunctioned, jammed solid. They were trapped, suspended in the silent, watchful embrace of the stratosphere. The whispers grew louder, more insistent, their tones shifting from a hushed murmur to something akin to a hungry sigh. Amelia pressed her hands against her ears, but the sound seemed to emanate from within her own mind. Then the scratching started, a faint, rhythmic scraping sound coming from the outer hull of the gondola. It was slow, deliberate, as if something with sharp claws was dragging itself across the metal. Amelia and Gian exchanged wide, terrified glances. The scratching intensified, becoming more frantic, punctuated by sickening thuds. The whispers reached a fever pitch, a cacophony of unintelligible threats and promises of cold oblivion. Amelia screamed, a raw, desperate sound that was instantly swallowed by the oppressive silence. Gian stared, his eyes wide with a primal terror, at a growing bulge in the aluminum wall beside him. The metal groaned, tearing open with a shriek that was abruptly cut short. A sliver of absolute blackness appeared, widening slowly, revealing nothing but empty, star-dusted void. A cold, dry wind whispered through the opening, carrying with it the scent of ozone and something else. Something ancient and utterly alien. The whispers intensified, now right beside their ears, icy breath on their skin. Amelia saw a flicker of movement in the darkness, something long and pale, before the silence finally consumed her. The silent drifter continued its lonely voyage through the stratosphere, carrying its unspeakable secret in the eerie, unending quiet. The whispers remained, the only testament to the terror that had unfolded in the cold, thin air, a chilling lullaby carried on the silent winds of the upper atmosphere. All right, settle in, turn down the lights, and definitely put on some headphones for this one. You're about to hear the recording of Elias Vance, a solo explorer who launched a deep space probe further than any human-made object before. This was his final transmission. Sound of static crackling. Then a man's voice, slightly distorted and filled with a chilling awe. Log entry, Sol 784. Everything is different out here. The silence isn't peaceful, it's expectant, like something is holding its breath. My instruments are picking up readings I can't explain. Fluctuations in gravity that ripple like water, energy signatures that pulse with no discernible source. Mission Control keeps saying it's sensor drift, anomalies. They haven't seen what I've seen. A long pause punctuated by the faint hum of machinery. Last night, or what I perceive as night out here, I saw something through the main viewport. It wasn't a star. It was vast, impossibly vast, like a darkness that had swallowed light itself, but within it, there were shapes, geometries that shouldn't exist, angles that defied everything I know about the universe. They shifted and writhed in the void, silent, immense. His voice becomes more strained, a hint of panic creeping in. The probe, the deep space probe I launched weeks ago, it stopped transmitting, just cut off. It was heading further out than I could ever go in this vessel. I was its eyes and ears. Now, nothing. It's like something consumed it. A sharp intake of breath. I tried to re-establish contact, of course. Ran diagnostics, everything. That's when I saw it on the long-range scanners. Something following me. It's not reflecting light. It's displacing it. A void within the void, but it has structure, like tendrils or fingers. They stretch out impossibly long, and they're getting closer. The sound of frantic typing on a keyboard. I'm accelerating, pushing the engines to their limit, but it's no use. It's faster. It doesn't move like anything I've ever seen, just is closer. The feeling, it's like being watched by something ancient, something that doesn't understand or care about my existence, but is curious, a terrible cosmic curiosity. His voice drops to a terrified whisper. The lights are flickering. Power fluctuations are getting worse. I can feel a pressure, a subtle vibration in the hull. It's like the ship itself is afraid. A series of unsettling scraping sounds begin, growing louder. What is that? What's happening? It's touching the ship. I can see it now through the viewport. One of those fingers. It's blacker than black, and it shimmers with an internal darkness. It's pressing against the metal, and the metal, it's yielding, like clay. A choke sob. Mission Control, if you hear this, tell them we are not alone. We are so far from alone. And whatever is out here, it's not friendly, it's hungry. The scraping intensifies, followed by a sickening tearing sound. Oh God, it's inside. I can see it. It's beautiful and terrible. The recording cuts off abruptly, replaced by a deafening static that slowly fades into silence. And that was the last we ever heard from Elias Vance. His ship vanished without a trace. The data logs he managed to send back before the signal was lost were heavily corrupted, filled with unexplainable readings and distorted images. To this day, no one knows what truly happened to him out there, in the vast, unforgiving emptiness between the stars. Perhaps it's better that way. Perhaps some doors are best left unopened. What do you think was out there? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more unsettling stories from the unknown.